Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Science School. Let's allocate Elastic IP address to this AWS account. Going to the VPC dashboard. Going to Elastic IPs from the left. Let's click on Allocate Elastic IP address. Selecting a pool here. AWS owns and manages large blocks of public IPv4 addresses. These blocks are what constitute the pool from which Elastic IPs are drawn. When you allocate an Elastic IP, AWS assigns you an address from this pool. These IP address pools are regional. This means that an Elastic IP address allocated in one AWS region cannot be used in another region. Next is the Network Border Group. Network border groups define the locations from which AWS advertises these IP addresses. When you use a public IP address, like an EIP, it needs to be advertised to the internet. This means that routing information is spread across the internet so that traffic can find its way to your IP. We are using the default network border group for this region. Scrolling down. Added tag and clicking on Allocate. EIP address is allocated to this account. We see the IP address here. Checking the EIP address details. Let's check the box for the details and scroll down. We see the IP address, its type, its allocation ID. Scrolling down. We see the address pool and the network border group here. Let's see what actions we can take on this EIP. We see that we can associate this EIP address, release this EIP address back to the pool, and there are other options too. Let's associate this EIP address with our EC2 instance. We're associating the Elastic IP address directly with the EC2 instance for now. We'll explore the option of associating it with a network interface in a later lesson. Scrolling down. We'll choose the instance and its primary private IP address for this Elastic IP address association. We're focusing on the fundamental setup, and we'll learn about assigning multiple private IPs to an instance as we progress. We see a checkbox to allow reassociation of this EIP. We can reassociate this EIP to a different resource simply by associating it with the new resource. AWS automatically detaches it from the previous resource during this process. However, we will leave this box unchecked. Let's click on Associate to associate this EIP to our instance. EIP is associated with our instance. Please remember this EIP address 13.61.248.76. We will go to the instance to confirm that this EIP address is its public IP address. Let's go to the EC2 service. Now to instances from the left. Clicking on this instance to confirm its public IP address. We see that the instance public IP address is the EIP that we associated. We will now disassociate this Elastic IP address from our instance and release it back to the address pool. It says that disassociating this Elastic IP address simply detaches it from the current resource. It remains available within your AWS account for association with other resources. Clicking on Disassociate. EIP disassociated successfully. Now, let's release it back to the address pool. It says that releasing this Elastic IP address means it will be returned to the general pool and will no longer be available for association with our resources. Clicking on Release. EIP address is released. We see no EIPs here. That's all, folks. See you again. Bye.